Hi everyone. So today's video is all about parturition. So in case of the human beings, the duration of the pregnancy is 9 months plus or minus 7 days. So this period of the pregnancy is what we call the gestation period. So the gestation period refers to from the time of the conception to the birth of an individual. So that entire, from the conception to that of the giving birth to an young one, so that entire period is called as a gestation period, which is around 9 months plus or minus 7 days. So once the fetus gets completely formed or it becomes fully formed, thereafter there is a vigorous uterine contractions occurs for the expelling out of the fully formed fetus. So this process of expulsion of the fully formed fetus by the contraction of uterus, so that is called as a parturition. So in this video we will be discussing that what all are the different types of the hormones secreted during the process of parturition. Thereafter we will discuss regarding the levels of the parturition, hormones, and thereafter we will be discussing regarding the physiology of the parturition. So let's get into the different types of the hormones which are being secreted during the process of the parturition. So the first hormone is called as a beta human chorionic gonadotropin. So this hormone is being secreted by the placenta, and the main function of this beta HCG is it maintains the corpus luteum, and thereby it also stimulates the corpus luteum for the secretion of the progesterone. Where main function of the progesterone, as you have already learned, that progesterone is involved in the maintenance of the pregnancy as well as it maintains the endometrium. So to maintain that pregnancy, that during that gestation period, that maintenance is being done by the progesterone, which is being secreted from the corpus luteum. Thereafter is the second hormone, that is called as estrogen. Estrogen is being secreted both by that of the ovary as well as the placenta. In general, in females, the estrogen is responsible for maintaining the secondary sexual characters. But in case of the process of that of the parturition, this estrogen, increases the oxytocin receptors which are being present onto that of the uterus. Where when the number of oxytocin receptors will increase in that of the uterus, so thereby another hormone called as oxytocin will come and bind. Thereby the process of parturition continues. Okay, so that is estrogen. Next is progesterone. As I said, the progesterone is being secreted from the corpus luteum, and this progesterone mainly acts on the middle layer of the uterus, which is called as myometrium, and this myometrium is made up of the smooth muscles, and it inhibits, progesterone inhibits the uterine contraction during the entire gestation period. So inhibition is being done. Okay, so contraction should occur, the uterine contraction should occur once the fetus is being fully formed. But this progesterone, what it is doing, it is inhibiting the uterine contraction during the gestation period. So that is another function of the progesterone other than maintaining the endometrium as well as pregnancy. Next is oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone which is commonly called as hormone of love, which means it is involved in love making, fertility, birth, parturition, as well as in the ejection or releasing of the milk from the mammary gland during the lactational period. So that is hormone of love, which is commonly called as oxytocin. And this oxytocin, it is also the hormone which is being secreted by that of the neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus of the mother, and this oxytocin which is being secreted by the hypothalamus, so that is being stored in the pars nervosa or the posterior pituitary, or even you can call it as the neurohypophysis of the mother's posterior pituitary, where this oxytocin is being stored. And this oxytocin promotes the contraction of uterine muscles. Okay, so oxytocin is involved in the uterine contraction, thereby it helps in the expelling out of the fully formed fetus. Next is relaxin. Relaxin is a hormone which is being secreted by the placenta, and this relaxin generally softens the ligaments which are being present in between the joints, namely the sarcoiliac joint and sacrococcygeal joints. Okay, sorry, sacroilial and sacrococcygeal joints. So in between these joints, whatever the ligaments are there, so they become loosen or soften, and thereafter this relaxin increases the flexibility of the pubic symphysis, and meanwhile it also is being involved in the dilation of the uterus and cervix during the process of the labor. So that is relaxin. And the last one is called as a corticotropin releasing hormone. So generally corticotropin releasing hormone is being secreted in pregnant females as well as in non-pregnant females. In non-pregnant females, this CRH is being secreted by the neurosecretory cells of the hypothalamus, whereas in case of the pregnant female, the CRH is being secreted by the placenta, and this CRH acts as a clock. Okay, acts as a clock, and it establishes the time of birth. So that is a very important function of this corticotropin releasing hormone. And here meanwhile you can see that if there is increase in that of the CRH levels, then that results in the premature delivery. And apart from this, if there is a decrease in that of the CRH levels, then the process of parturition may be postponed, which means after the due date which is being given, okay, if the CRH levels are still low, then the delivery of the young one may occur even after the given due date. So which means this CRH levels will be lesser during the gestation period, and it drastically increases during the process of parturition. Thereby it acts as a clock which establishes the time of the birth. So these are the 6 different hormones which are being involved in the process of parturition. Now let's look after to that of the graph, where on y-axis I have mentioned here the hormone concentration, and on x-axis we have taken regarding the gestation period in the first trimester, second trimester as well as the third trimester. So initially in the first trimester, the increase of the hormones takes place, that is beta HCG, which is being secreted by the placenta, because this beta HCG stimulates the corpus luteum, and it helps in the secretion of the progesterone, which is being directed by the help of the corpus luteum. And thereafter there is a estrogen levels also starts increasing, as well as the progesterone levels also will increase. But during, see, as I said, during the 37th week, if you look after, during this 37th week of the gestation period, what happens is the progesterone level starts decreasing when compared to that of the estrogen levels, which means during the 37th week estrogen levels are high and progesterone levels will start decreasing. Okay, so this ratio which is there, decrease in the progesterone level to that of the increase in the estrogen level, so that stimulates here which initiates the process of contraction of the uterus. Okay, and when the progesterone level starts decreasing, okay, so the female will feel some changes in her uterine region. That is, she starts feeling the pain, what we call labor. So that labor which occurs due to decrease in the progesterone levels, so that is called as a false labor. It is called as false labor. And this is also called as false labor contraction, or it is called as Braxton Hicks Braxton Hicks contractions. So another name for that of the false labor. So these are being seen because of decrease in the progesterone levels, which is not actually the process of parturition will get initiated, but it is only due to decrease in the progesterone levels. Okay. So thereafter, what happens is during the 40th week, once the fetus is being fully formed, so you can see in this particular diagram, you can see here, so this is the uterus, okay, and this is the placenta, this is fetus, and this is the maiden body. So here, the fetus, once it is being fully formed, okay, so the fetal brain which is there, so this fetal stress is being generated because this fetus wants to come out, it wants to expel out. So this fetal stress stimulates the CRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, by that of the anterior pituitary, and thereby it stimulates the release of the cortisol. So this brain sends or directs the adrenal gland, okay, or suprarenal gland of the fetus to secrete the hormone which is called as cortisol. So once the adrenal gland secretes this cortisol, so this cortisol now acts upon the placenta, and thereby there is a decrease in that of the progesterone level as well as the estrogen level, and there will be increase in that of the prostaglandin hormone or hormone-like substances. So here initially you can see that the placenta is being responsible for secretion of estrogen and progesterone. So these levels will decrease when there is a release of cortisol from the adrenal gland. So progesterone levels will decrease, estrogen levels will decrease. Then what will increase is the prostaglandins. Okay. So now during this process of the changes which is occurring in case of the fetal region or fetal part, so this is what we call as a fetal ejection reflex. It is being generated, which means that the fetus is fully formed and it wants to come out. So that is called as fetal ejection reflex. So once this fetal ejection reflex is being generated, thereafter what happens is the fetus starts making its movement, and the uterine receptors which are being formed enormously onto that of the uterus. So these receptors, okay, now these receptors, the stretch receptors which are being present, so they also are being supported. That uterus is being supported by the sensory nerves. Now these sensory nerves will carry the information to that of the hypothalamus of the maternal brain. So once the hypothalamus receives the signals from that of the uterine contraction, because it is the fetus is making its movement to come out. So once that hypothalamus receives, this hypothalamus now starts directing the posterior pituitary to release its hormone that is called as oxytocin. So now this oxytocin is being released from the posterior pituitary, and now this oxytocin, okay, it acts upon the uterus, and this oxytocin now starts bringing up the uterine contraction, and meanwhile it also stimulates the prostaglandin production. So generally you know that prostaglandin is a hormone-like substances which acts upon this uterus and also brings about the contraction. So it is by the prostaglandin as well as the oxytocin which act upon this uterus, okay, anteriorly. It will be anteriorly. So this is how this hormones, that is oxytocin as well as the prostaglandin, start contracting from the anterior side, so that it helps the fetus to move out. So once the contraction will start, so there is a process that this cervix and the uterus now starts getting dilated. So this is the first stage of the parturition, which we call it as the dilation stage, which extends from 16 to that of it extends from 6 to 12 hours. The process of the dilation occurs for about 6 to 12 hours. So once the dilation of the cervix starts occurring, the cervical plug which is being formed initially, so that gets ruptured, and meanwhile the amnion which is being present surrounding the fetus, so that amnion or amniotic sac will get ruptured. Thereby there is a release of that amniotic fluid, and that fluid now starts oozing out from that of the cervix or through that of the vagina. The amniotic fluid starts coming out. So that happens during the first stage of the parturition, which is called as the dilation stage. Thereafter, as the contraction of the uterus increases, okay, so the signals from the uterine region, again it is being stimulating the hypothalamus to secrete more and more of the oxytocin, and when more and more of the oxytocin is being secreted, when it is being released, so this again brings about the uterine contraction and also again stimulates the prostaglandin production. Okay, so once again when the pressure is being increased, so what happens is now the fetus starts making its movement towards the birth canal or the cervix and vagina. So this is the stage, that is the second stage of the parturition, that is called as expulsion stage. So the fetus now starts, as the uterus starts contracting, the fetus starts making its movement towards the birth canal, and the contraction continues. So this process of cycling of these hormones continuously occurs because the sensory nerves which are there in the uterus, continuously they send the signals for the hypothalamus to secrete and release more amount of the oxytocin. So when more and more oxytocin is being released, more and more uterine contraction takes place, and thereby the fetus which was there inside, now it is being expelled out. So that is called as the expulsion stage. And for this particular stage to occur, expulsion stage, it takes nearly around 10 minutes to several hours, so that the fetus which is there inside, that comes out. Later what happens is, now the fetus which has been come out, so that is still in contact with that of the maternal body, that is by the help of this placenta. Okay, so thereafter the next stage, that is the third stage of the parturition, is after birth stage, or it is called as the placental stage. So what happens is, once the fetus is being completely it has come out, thereafter the placenta which is being attached to that of the uterus, so that gets rejected, or it comes out along with that of the fetus. Placenta also comes out along with that of the fetus, and here in the uterine region there will be the constriction of the blood vessels, which generally prevents the blood hemorrhage. Okay, so that occurs after during the placental stage or after birth stage. Now thereafter what happens, the fetus okay, so which is being connected to the placenta by the help of this umbilical cord, so the two clips are being connected to prevent the flow of the blood to that of the fetus to from that of the placenta, and thereafter there is a cut is being made. Okay, and thereafter the circulation in case of the fetus will start on its own. There is a process where generally the newly born baby, that is the fetus or the infant, is being holded upside down, and there is a tapping is being done. So when that tapping is being done, the nitrous oxide is being released, and that nitrous oxide makes the entry of the air or the oxygen into the lung, fetal lungs, the infant lungs, and thereafter the process of respiration will start in case of the infant. Okay, so this is all about how the parturition takes place, and as there is a continuous release of oxytocin acting upon the uterus, so this is what we call it as a positive feedback mechanism, which will occur in case of the human beings only generally during the process of parturition. Okay, apart from this, if the fetus is being, its head is being present towards that of the birth canal, then this type of birth is generally said to be a normal birth, or it is called as a vertex birth. It is a normal birth, or it is called as vertex birth. And by chance, during the process, see for example during the 4th month to that of the 6th or 7th month, this fetus which is there, it is being swimming in that of the amniotic fluid, and it keeps on rotating. Okay, so thereby the head comes towards that of the birth canal region. But sometimes what happens, it is the leg portion or the back portion or the abdomen portion is being facing towards the birth canal. And during such cases, what happens is the cesarean is being done, and the individuals which are being born by that, where the legs are towards the birth canal, so that is we call it as a breech birth. Okay, head towards the birth canal, then it is called as vertex birth, and if it is leg or abdomen region, then it is called as breech birth. So vertex birth generally a normal delivery, and breech birth generally will result into the cesarean. So this is about the process of parturition. What we have discussed is the different types of the hormones, and during this process of the normal delivery, so the relaxin which is there, this hormone is very important, because this softens the ligaments which are present, okay, in between the joints, like the sacroiliac as well as the sacrococcygeal joints. When they get relaxed, they are able to stretch, okay, so that the fetus which is there inside can easily come out during the process of parturition. And it is being estimated that during this process, the fetus will have its first birth, and the female, the mother, will have her second birth. Why? Because during this process of the parturition, it is being estimated that it is around 57 pounds of the pressure is being occurring in the body of the maternal body, and it is being said that it is only a human being is able to tolerate around 46 pounds of the pressure, which means the mother is able to tolerate more than that of the pressure which can be tolerable by that of the human beings. Henceforth, for this female who is giving birth to an young one, so she is said to get the second birth. So this is all the video of the parturition. Thank you.